Dear students, we were talking about virtue of men. Nelson Mandela talks about the quality of a man. He says that man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. It means goodness cannot be stopped. If we think of positivity, what is the goodness in one? Then he will respect the person and know the importance of person. Even being black, when a white who have been blamed as oppressing the black, he felt goodness in one. He had seen a glance of goodness in a white person, especially when he was in a prison and a soldier was there before him. So he says, man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Extinguished means never stopped. In life, every man has twin obligations. He is talking about obligations, means responsibility. Obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children. One obligation is the obligation to his family, means a person is responsible for his family, the person's parents, to his wife and children also. And he has another obligation, that is to his people, his community, his country. In the one way, one obligation is their own family members, and another one the people of the society, community, and his country too. In a civil and human society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities. In society, every man is able to fulfill, means it is the duty of a person to bear the obligations according to his abilities, his strength, the work he can do. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of Mandela's birth and color to fulfill both those obligations. He is worried about it. These obligations cannot be fulfilled being a slave, oppressed by white persons. When a country and countrymen is ruled by others, dominated by others, then power becomes limited, strength becomes limited. So in South Africa, it was almost impossible for him to bear both these obligations to the family members and obligations to the society and country. In South Africa, a man of color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. It means the person who wanted to feel freedom were punished, and those persons were isolated, means made separated, avoided, means sent to jail, prison. In South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart, a twilight existence of secrecy and rebellion. Yes, it happened in South Africa, who tried to fulfill this type of duty to obligate family members, society, country. In that case, unavoidably, means inevitably, ripped from family, means separated from his family and his home, and by force they were made apart, means made separate from family and society. A twilight existence of secrecy and supposed to be a rebellion, Bidrohi. Such type of charge was given on him. Nelson Mandela didn't in the beginning choose to place his people above his family. In the beginning, he didn't know these things. He knew his family is the most important thing, but later on he came to know the importance of the society, the people of the society. In attempting to serve his people, he found that it was prevented from fulfilling his obligations as a son, as a brother, father, and husband. Means later on he came to know that as a father, as a brother, as a husband, as a separate obligation, and another one is the people of society. He has sort of responsibility for them also, because a person gets lots of things from the people of the society. He was not born with hunger to be free. He was born free, free in every way. That he could know. Yes, man is born free, but everywhere he chant, this is applicable here. He was not born a free human being with a hunger of food. He was born free, but he didn't know that he is not free to run in the field near his mother's hut, free to swim and in the clear stream and run wherever he like in the village, free to roast mealies under the stars and ride the broad back of slow moving bulls. So these things were there, he did, but he didn't know that this type of freedom is a limited one. This is not a real freedom. As long as he obeyed his father and abided, means bore by the customs of his tribe, he was not troubled by the laws of man or God. It means in the beginning he was not troubled. He did these things, riding on bull, walking in the street, swimming in the river, in the stream. These things were there. And he didn't know at that time what freedom's meaning is there, what is the real meaning of freedom. It was only when he began to learn that his boyhood freedom was an illusion. Illusion means false. that is being seen, but it is not real one, that is illusion. When he discovered as a young man that his freedom had already been taken from him, that he began to hunger for it. Later on, it means when came to know that his freedom is lost, he has not real freedom, then he became hunger for it, hunger for freedom. At first, as a student, he wanted freedom only for himself. As childhood age was there, he knew himself, so he wanted freedom for himself. Later on, he began hunger for the people. Being able to stay at night, read what he pleased, go where he chose. So this type of freedom is remembered. Later, as a young man in Johannesburg, he yearned for the basic and honorable freedom of achieving his potential. Yearn means create, weave. Yearn means weave for the basic and honorable freedoms. Means he started weaving, creating and achieving potential of earning to keep up and of marrying and having a family. The freedom not to be abstracted in a lawful life. Just having a family, having a wife, this type of freedom is not real freedom. It is not abstracted. It doesn't make a check and break in a lawful life. He came to know the meaning of freedom slowly. By passing of the age, when he came to know as a student the freedom he was learning, it was transitory freedom. Freedom that is not permanent. That you can awake at night, you can sleep during day, you can work during day, you can sleep at night. That is not the thing that he wanted to say. He came to know about the real freedom. But then slowly saw that not only he was free, he was not free, he was slave, but his brothers and sisters were also slave. They were also not free. He saw that it was not just for his freedom that was curtailed, means shortened, reduced, but the freedom of everyone who looked like him. Just like Mandela, other persons' freedom had also been reduced, curtailed, shortened. That is when he joined in this condition, in this state, when he came to know that his freedom is lost, he joined African National Congress. And that is when the hunger for his own freedom became the greater hunger for the freedom of his people. Own freedom made him think of the freedom of others. he began to think of the people. Not only he was in problem, not only his freedom was lost, but the freedom of others too, the people of the society too. It was this desire for the freedom of his people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect that animated his life, that transformed a frightened young man into a bold one, that drove a law-abiding attorney to become a criminal, that turned a family-loving husband into a man without a home, that forced a life-loving man to live like a monk. Yes. When he became hunger for freedom, when he had greater hunger for freedom, then the desire to be free of his people, means the people of the community, he thought they should also have dignity and self-respect. A new imagination of his life is there, and it gave a shape of a different life of rebellion, a freedom fighter, a transformed, frightened young man. A frightened means a cowardly life is being changed. A cowardly life is changed into bold one. He became brave one, and drove him, a law-abiding attorney, to become a criminal. He is supposed to be a criminal in the name of government by the others, rulers. And it turned a family-loving husband into a man without a home. One who loved family, husband, wife, children, people, and everything. Made him change, made him think of the society. It forced a life-loving man to live like a monk, means live separately, alone. Having no home to live in, no destination where to go. Now he is no more a virtuous or self-sacrificing than the next man, then as others were there, virtuous men, law-abiding person. No, he is quite different now. He found that he could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedom he was allowed when he knew his people were not free. When he came to know that the people of the nation of South Africa were not free, then he also had such a greed for freedom. And he started fighting against the system. Freedom is indivisible. It cannot be divided. The chains on any one of his people were the chains on all of them. If one is chained, it means others are also chained. One is sent into jail, it means others are also sent into jail, prison. The chains on all his people were the chains on him also. If one is oppressed, if one person is punished, he thinks that he is also being punished. So this type of empathetic sense developed in him. Empathetic sense means feeling of self-seeing others. If you see somebody in trouble and you think you are there, in that case there is empathy. He knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. Here two things are there. One is oppression. These oppressors are white persons, white people, and oppressed means on which they ruled, that is black people in South Africa. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. In his view, the white people who ruled over black had also lost their freedom. They are also prisoner because they are in the prison of hatred. He has locked behind the bars of prejudice, a mental thinking about others, and inhuman thinking of others, knowingly without any reason, that is prejudice. In a prejudiced manner, if they try to rule on others, that they are poorer than themselves in every respect, they are of no freedom, it means the oppressors are also in prison of hatred. So they also needed freedom. They are also to be liberated. So he is taking away someone else's freedom just as surely as he is not free when his freedom is taken from him. From him, his freedom is being taken. So, oppressed and oppressor both have been robbed from the humanity. Those who oppress others and the persons who are oppressed, both are victim of you may say a victim of being oppressed, are both needed freedom. One who oppress others, they also need others because they have hatred in mind, they have prejudice, and others, those who are being oppressed, they also needed freedom because they are treated inhumanly. So these questions of the lessons are to be seen clearly. What twin obligations are there? Does Mandela mention? What did being free mean to Mandela as a boy and as a student? What is the meaning of freedom for Mandela when he was a boy and as a student? And how does this freedom is meaning of freedom changes by the passage of time? These questions are to be seen properly. Does Mandela think the oppressor is free? Why and why not? Lastly, in the last paragraph I have discussed. So these questions are also to be discussed clearly, and make all the questions and answers. Also comment in the comment box how it is there, whether you like it or not like. Even your suggestions are very important. Don't try to miss it.